Just going to do a little demonstration video here on your van, so I'll just take you a run inside here now, and we'll start off just with your control panel. So what I have here is your main on and off switch, your pump, and this is your water levels here. On this side here, you press that and you can see it's just showing up the water level there at the moment. And this is your engine battery here, the condition of it, and that's the condition of your leisure battery. Now that'll go on up when you plug the van in. That'll go on up because when the van's charging, and when the van's running, it'll run off the engine as well and charge the battery. Now it's important that you plug the van in at least 2 days every fortnight, especially in the winter time when you're not using the van. So really all you have there is your on and off switch and then your pump. Now that's just a heater there for the wastewater tank. It's really for cold climates, really. Stop your wastewater tank from freezing, that's all that is. And the rest then is all fairly straightforward. So here we're just looking at your fridge. The fridge just switches on with this knob here. At the moment it's off. Just turn that, you'll see the light coming on inside the fridge, and turn that up and down as you need it. So that's just a 12 volt fridge. There's no gas or main supply into it, just runs in 12 volt. And to switch it off, just turn that knob back the way, give it a click, and you'll see the fridge going off. So the next thing we're going to look at here is your heating controls for your trimmer heater. Now this will heat on electric and it'll heat on gas for heating the van and for heating the water. Now at the moment all we're showing here is the time, and there's nothing actually on. So this top screen here, this top line is empty. Just press that again here and press return. You'll see when you have nothing on the top line, there's nothing on. So to switch on the heating, the first thing we do is we press this button, and the first thing that's flashing is the camper van. So if we want to heat the camper van now, we press this button again and we turn the temperature up to the desired temperature. So say we wanted it 26 degrees, you have to press that again to store it. Press it again. Now we've now set the temperature inside the van. And now as we scroll across here, this next one here is heating the water. And the next one here is what you want to heat the van with. And as shown here, you have a choice of either gas or electric. So we press that now again. The first choice we have is gas. And as we scroll down, we have mix 1 and mix 2. And electric 1 and electric 2. So electric 1 is one element of electric. Electric 2 is your two elements of electric. And then as we go back up, you have mix 2, which is 2 elements of electric and the gas. And mix 1 is gas and 1 element of electricity. So that's the choice you have. Now at the moment we're not plugged in, so we'll just have to go on gas. And the same thing again, always press the button to store it. And then the next one you have then is your fan. Now you have the choice in the fan, you have eco or high. And that's just the speed that the fan runs at. So if we press that on high, you'll see every time we move it there, you see the wee propellers on the screen there getting bigger and smaller. And the same thing again, whichever one you want, press the button to store it. Now if we want to see what we've set, if we press the return button, we've still got the clock here, and now we're heating the van. You can see the little flame flashing on gas on the high fan. So that's how we've set the heating. Now to turn off the heating, press the button again, get back into your camper van, press your camper, turn that right back. We're just turning that around till it says off. Press that again to store it. And now you can see if we press return, which is that button, we've now switched the heating off. Now if we want to heat water, same again, we'll press the button, go into the water heating, press that, and it says off. We turn it up and we have eco, which is 40 degrees, or hot, which is 60 degrees, or you have a boost, which just works for an hour and then it knocks itself off. So that's your temperatures there, 60 and 40. So if we want the water now at 40, we'll just press OK. And we'll go back over here again and press that, and it's still on gas, so we'll just press gas. So we press return now. We're now heating the water on eco, on gas. Now the same applies if we want to change that. If we wanted to heat the water on electricity, we would bring that over to the water. We still want it on eco, say this time we want it on hot, which is 60. Press OK. Back over here, Press that, and we'll scroll down now to EL2 and we'll press OK. And if we press return, we're now heating the water on electricity. But you see now we've brought up a wee fault here, this little triangle. That's because the van's not plugged in. You're trying to do something that the heater can't do. We're not plugged in, so we can't do it. But it's just to show you what we've now switched the water heating on to hot, which is 60 degrees on 2 bars of electric. So we'll have to go back in there and come over here and change this here back to gas again, because we have no electricity. And that's you back in gas. So the 5 settings you have on your power supply is your gas. Mix 1 is gas and 1 bar of electric. Mix 2 is gas and the 2 bars of electric. And then you have 1 bar of electric on its own, or 2 bars of electric on its own. That's your mains. Now, if we want to ever go back, you always press return. It'll always bring you back to that home screen. If we want to turn everything off again, we'll go back in. We'll go back in there first and we'll turn that to gas. And we'll go back into the hot water and press that again and turn that back again until it says off and press OK. And that's everything off. If we press return here, you can see there's nothing on the top line. So that's your heating off. So every time you switch either the camper on or the heating on, if you want to turn it off, you have to go into it, press it and turn it back till it says off and press OK. Now these bottom ones here, if we scroll along, that's a timer and that's your clock for setting your clock. So if we go in here to this timer, we'll show you what we can do with that. Press OK. It asks you for a start time. So say 7 o'clock in the morning. OK that. And the end time is say 8 o'clock in the morning. And now it's going to ask you what you want to do. If we want heating, we can turn that on now. Or if we want hot water, we can press that. We'll press that off and it'll move straight on to the hot water. So if we turn that on to hot and press OK, and what you want to heat it with gas or electric or whatever you want to do. So say we want to heat, so we're going to heat the water now on hot on the electric at 7 o'clock in the morning. So EL2, press OK, and it asks you then, do you want to put the timer on? And we do, so we'll press OK. Now we see now we've brought up a timer here in the corner. That means there's a timer on. So we press that screen and it goes back to the time, but it's showing you there's a timer actually set when you see that in the corner. So 7 o'clock in the morning now, the van's going to heat the water on electric for 1 hour. Now if we go back in again, we'll go back to this timer, go back in here, and it says the first option it gives you, do you want to switch the timer off? And we'll say OK. And straight away if we press the return button again, the timer is now gone. So the same again, if you want to heat the van in the morning time, we'll go in here to the timer again, press that. Same thing, say 7 o'clock. This is start time. The end time is say 10 o'clock. So we're bringing it now on for 3 hours. And we'll press OK, OK. And it's asking us now, do we want to heat the van? So if we want to heat the van now, we just start bringing the temperature up. Say 20 degrees, press OK. The next one goes straight into the water, so we'll switch that off. And we're now going to heat it on gas, so we'll press OK. And it'll ask you again now about the fan, because we're running the heating. Eco's OK. And do you want to switch the timer on? So we've now set the timer to come on at 7 o'clock in the morning to heat the van at 20 degrees and go off at 10 o'clock. Now the same thing again, if we go back in here, the timer, and we want to switch it off. And press return, that brings you back to your home screen. Now if you want to switch off the panel completely, you can hold your finger on the button for about 5 seconds and you'll see the screen going blank and it says off. So that's the panel actually off. Now you can have the panel on just showing the time and press return here again, and that's not the heating's not, as long as there's nothing on the top screen, there's nothing working. The only thing that's showing you now is just the clock. So that's, you can have the panel on without the heating going. So the next thing we're looking at here is just underneath the dinette seat. The wee door drops down, you'll see this blue valve. This is a frost protection valve for your heater. Now your heater's full of water, and at 2 degrees this valve here will actually activate itself and it'll drain all the water out of the heater out onto the street outside. And when that happens, you're going to lose all your water pressure in your taps. But at the moment that's closed, that's the way it should be. And when it trips, you can see it trips and the little button here shoots out the front. So to correct that, we're going to have to turn that way and press the button back in again. So that's the way it should be. Now that'll do that itself at about 2 degrees, and it'll drain all the water out of the hot water tank itself, the heater. But if you want to winterize the van in the winter time, what you'll do is you'll turn off your pump, come along here, open that yourself, and open all your taps in between hot and cold. And what that'll do there, all the water in the tap and the water system in the van and the pipe work here will all drain back out through this van out onto the street. So you'll have to remember to open your tap in your bathroom as well. So that's how you winterize the van. Now, in the very cold conditions where we had a couple of years ago where it was like -5, we would recommend actually blowing into the tap at this stage to push any extra water away from the tap heads to stop them getting damaged with frost. So when you come back then to the van and you want to use the van again, the first thing you'll do is you'll come along here, turn that and press in the button. And that's the system closed again. Now at this stage your water heater has no water in it. So to charge up the water heater, what you'll do is open your tap on the hot position in the kitchen, and the first thing it'll do, it'll fill up the water tank in the heater and blow out the air out through the tap. And once you have a free flow in your taps, that's you charged up again. So that's how you recharge the van again once you've taken it back out from the winter time. Now anytime you have any problems with your taps that you're not getting pressure, always have a wee look at this valve. It might have tripped in the middle of the night, or it might have tripped. You might have had a cold night and it might just trip in the middle of the night itself. So anytime it's in that position, it has to be closed again and the button pressed in. That's important that you press the button in. So that's the closed position there. So you can see where that was in there. That's just underneath the seat. And the next thing we're going to look at is underneath there's a floorboard here that lifts up underneath the table. And you can see your main trips here. And that's the way they should be. And for the trip, they'll go that way. And then you just reset them again, the same as what you have at home. And in here then you have your 12-volt fuses. And that's your charging box here, this one here. So that's all your electrics underneath the floor. Now your hob's fairly straightforward. You just have the ordinary knobs here and you'll have to light it yourself. There's safeties on all these rings as well, so if there's no flame you won't have any gas. So if someone comes along and switches these on, there's no gas coming out. So that's fairly straightforward. So we're just going to have a wee look at your gas cylinder here and your gas hose. So on top of the cylinder here you have your open and close valve. So to close it, just go clockwise, and to open it, go anti-clockwise. And if you want to change the cylinder, your spanners are here, and you'll loosen this nut here. And that'll loosen clockwise, so it loosens clockwise to take that off, and it tightens anti-clockwise. Now you'll see here on this pipe there's a little green button. Now every time you change the cylinder or turn the gas on or off, you're going to have to press that button to let the gas through. Just hold that for about 5 seconds once you've opened the cylinder, and that'll let the gas through into the van. So that's all there is to your gas. So we're just looking outside the van here. You have your water fill here at the back, and that goes into your tank inside here, which is, if you can see here, you see I have the hatch lifted up. That's your water tank. And what we're looking at here now is your valve on your fresh water tank for draining the fresh water tank. And what you'll do is just give that 2 turns, no more than 2 turns. So that's 1 and 2, and it'll start emptying the tank out onto the street. And to close it again, just give it 2 turns until it stops. And that's it. Just give it a wee nip up, and that's just the wee hatch for looking into the tank. And your awning pole is just hanging up inside the back door here. So we're now on the left hand side of the van, and you can see your toilet cassette is in here. Now the cassette won't pull out until the shutter inside is actually closed, so this won't come out until you have to make sure that the shutter on the toilet inside is closed, and that just clips out here and pulls out. And then along here on the side of the van here, you'll see that's just the exhaust for your heater. And the last thing then is your 220-volt plug-in. Now if you can see on this window here, there's a switch in the window. Your heating won't work unless the window's closed. So anytime your heater won't work, you always have to make sure that window's closed. It's to stop fumes coming from the exhaust here and going up here to the side of the van and inside the van. So you'll see a switch here inside the window, so that the heating in the van won't work with that window open. And so moving along here now, we're in the cab of the van, and your jack and wheel brace is underneath the passenger seat. Your bonnet pull is just here on the side, and you have to open the door to access that. And we'll just move around here now to your engine bay. So in the engine bay you have your window wash filler and your coolant water, your blade fluid, and down here you have your dipstick. And then if you ever have to jump start the van, there's underneath this cover here, there's a positive terminal, and you'll put the negative terminal onto the metalwork of the van. So if you ever have to jump start the van, you put the negative on here and put the positive on. There's a metal clip underneath this here cover here. So moving into your bathroom here, I'll just show you your toilet flush is the blue button, and you'll get a red light on here when the cassette's full and needs to be emptied. And you can see here, this is your lever for opening and closing the shutter on the toilet. Now it always has to be closed completely. There's another, that wee bit at the end, that's it open, and that's it closed. So we're just in the cab of the van here now, and I'm just going to show you a few bits. Your aircon button is here for cold air. If you want air conditioning, that's it there. You can see there in your screen, that's your reverse camera, and that'll come on when you put the van into reverse. And the only other thing we sort of have, this bottom stalk here is your cruise control, and there's a speed limiter on it. So the cruise control is up this way, and give that one shot up the way to activate your cruise control. And the bottom one here at the bottom is a speed limiter. Now the speed limiter, if you can see on the dash, that 20 mile an hour, you can bring that up or down. What I'm doing there is I'm just moving the stalk up and down to increase the speed. So whatever you set that at, the van won't go over that. So if you're in a 40 mile an hour speed limit, you can turn on your, it's SLD, it's called SLD connected. If we switch that on there, SLD connected, the van won't go over 40 mile an hour. Or you can set it at the speed limit if you want, say 50 or 55, and you can drive normally, and the van won't go over that speed. So it's handy to save you looking at the clocks all the time. So there's not much else. The rest of it's very car-like. You have this compartment here in the middle, lifts up, give that a pull, and you can see here at the side there's a little lever, give it a pull, and you'll see these two bits here flipping out, and you can mount a laptop or whatever on there for sat nav or whatever you want, and that just clips in again, close, and then clip that in and push that back down again. And you have a compartment in here that cools down when the aircon's on. You can store cans and stuff in there, and there's a lead here for your USB supply into the head unit. So just to show you that window switch from inside, you see it says Truma on it. That's the one I'm telling you about, that you can't have that window open when the heating's running. So if that window's open and you try to put on the heating, it won't come on. So I hope that video was a good help to you folks, and good luck with your new van. And if you have any problems at all, you can give us a ring or any queries on how anything operates. Thank you.